Hi students, in previous class we have discussed about what is meant by culture and what are the characteristics of culture. In today's class, let us discuss about cross-cultural theories proposed by different scientists. Now let's see what are the cross-cultural theories. Cross-cultural theory or theories of consideration. Cross-cultural management is the development and application of knowledge about cultures in the practice of international management when the people involved have different cultural identities. Here, cross-cultural management means when people involved from different cultural identities, so and implementing an application of knowledge about different cultures in the practice of international management. Now let's see some of the theories of consideration. Some of the theories of consideration are as follows: Greet Hofstede's cultural dimensions, Kluckhohn and Strothbeck theory, Hall's theory of cultural context, and Lawrence study of culture, Lawrence's cross-cultural studies. Now let's see Greet Hofstede's cultural dimensions. Greet Hofstede cultural dimensions. Greet Hofstede defined national culture as the set of collective beliefs and values that distinguish people of one nationality from those of another. In his original comprehensive study that he conducted while working at IBM as a psychologist and involving over 1 lakh individuals from 50 countries and 3 regions. Now let us see how Greet Hofstede have proposed the cultural dimensions. Greet Hofstede defined national culture as set of collective beliefs and values which distinguish people from one nationality to another. And he conducted an study while working at IBM as a psychologist, and he involved 1 lakh individuals from 50 countries and 3 regions. In his study, he identified 4 important dimensions in national culture. Later, he added another culture dimension known as confusion dynamism, which captures the difference between a long term and short term orientation. Now let's see what are the 5 dimensions proposed by Greet Hofstede. The first 4 were identified during his study while working at IBM as a psychologist, and the fifth one, confusion dynamism, was added by him later. The 5 dimensions of Hofstede are as follows. They are uncertainty avoidance, power distance, individualism versus collectivism, masculinity versus femininity, and long term versus short term orientation. Now let's see in detail what are these dimensions in place. The first cultural dimension identified by Hofstede is uncertainty avoidance. This dimension refers to the extent to which people feel comfortable when they are exposed to uncertain situation. Here, how this dimension refers to means how up to which extent people feel comfortable when they are exposed to uncertain activities. For suppose if people are from low uncertainty avoidance society, they are more willing to take risks and appreciate flexibility and informality in workplace. When the people are from high uncertainty avoidance society, they tend to be risk and they feel they are to be in risk and favor rigid and formal decision making process in the workplace. They follow the formal decision making process in the workplace. And the second dimension proposed by Hofstede is power distance. In this, if the people if there is a large power distance, that means the power is in the top management, and the decisions and instructions given by the superiors must be followed by the subordinates. In a small power distance culture, power is rather equally distributed among the members of the society. And the third cultural dimension is individualism versus collectivism. Individualism means that people seek and protect their own interests over the common goal of the society and their role in the society. In an individualistic culture, people are comfortable with having the authority to make a decision based on what the individual thinks is best. In a collectivistic culture, people tend to belong to groups or collectives and look after each other in exchange for loyalty. Individualism versus collectivism. This is this is the third cultural dimension identified by Geet. In individualistic culture, the decision is based on what an individual thinks. Here, the decision will be taken by one person only. What he thinks is right, and he thinks that his decision is best. In a collectivistic culture, people tend to belong to groups. Here, in collectivistic culture, people are in a group and they discuss among themselves and take the decision in the exchange of loyalty. And the fourth cultural dimension is masculinity versus femininity, which means male versus female. In masculinity, it is basically a performance driven society. Where rewards and recognition for performance are the primary motivational factors for achievement. In masculine cultures, some major innovations are simply the outcome of financial rewards, prestige, and a sense of accomplishment. Feminine culture, people tend to emphasize the quality of whole life rather than money, success, and social status, which are easier to quantify. They are willing to reach out to the underprivileged and share their wealth with them. While coming to the male male culture, masculine culture, while coming to the male dominated culture, it is totally based on a performance driven, where rewards and recognition for performance are the primary motivational factors. While coming to the female feminine culture, here they consider whole life rather than money, success, and power. They consider whole life, how which means are they willing to share their wealth with them or not, which means here in feminine culture, rather than money, success, and social status, they consider whole life as a quantity, which is easier to quantify. And the fifth one, which is added later by Geet, is short term orientation versus long term orientation. In long term orientation, like adaptation of tradition to the modern context, high savings, patience and perseverance towards slow results, and concern with respecting the demand of virtue are to be captured. On the other hand, a short term orientation contains respect for traditions, lower savings rate, quick results, and concern with processing the truth. In long term orientation, we will see about savings and perseverance, patience, but the results will earn slow results. While coming to the short term orientation, here there will be a quick result orientation, and they give respect for traditions, lower savings rate, and concern with processing the truth. These are the 5 cultural dimensions identified by Greet Hofstede, and these are also known as Hofstede's cultural dimensions. In next class, let us see about Kluckhohn and Stolbeck theory. If anyone missed the previous class, can get the links in the description box. Thank you.